Coach Brian here with Northwest Elite Spirit, and today I'd like to share with you my Moab 240 187 mile DNF experience. For those of you who are unaware, DNF means did not finish. First, I'd like to say that I also DNF'd Tahoe 200 due to some lung issues. And to clear up those lung issues, I was drinking mullein tea, which did clear up my lung issues, but at the same time had an effect that I wasn't totally prepared for. Mullein tea is something I discovered a long time ago in order to help me practice my lucid dreaming, and I went into Moab 240 believing that my ability to lucid dream may have an effect on my race. I thought that it would make me more readily hallucinate. It didn't, but it did have a different effect, I think, that I was not prepared for. People do have strange visions in Moab due to sleep deprivation, and I also think just due to the landscape. It's very like cartoonish or otherworldly when you're out there. In the very beginning, I met up with Jess, Sam, and Aaron, some friends that I've made recently through exploring this ultra running world. And I carpooled down with a woman named Jerry, 64-year-old woman who's been doing ultra for a long time, and she did complete this ultra. We set out early in the morning. And I set out with Aaron Fleischer. He's a guy that I admire for his pace and his swag and just his just a general good mood when he's around. And I met him course marking for Bigfoot 200. Course marked Bigfoot 200, Tahoe 200, and Moab, just in preparation to get to know these races a little better. And perform a little better. So we set out in the morning, and Aaron and I are just kind of moseying along, nice easy pace. He mentioned later on that if I had noticed, we were passing a bunch of people in the beginning and no one was passing us, but again, it was a nice and easy pace. He mentioned to me that he hoped that I did not mind a walking pace, something not too fast, because that's what he was aiming for. He likes to, it's like a fast hike, and he likes to stop and talk and at aid stations and things like this. And those things were fine with me because I was there for a learning experience and as a student, and not necessarily to go in there and be some sort of master of ultra running. He had a blowout early on, and he had to switch shoes. I think at the first or second aid station, he had to get a new shoe or a new pair of shoes because he had a blowout. I think he was wearing Hoka's. I was wearing Vivo Barefoot Forest Magna ESCs, which I like Vivo Barefoots for everything. So he was we would come to a hill, small hill, and he'd be like, let's bomb this hill. And then we'd start moseying down the hill, and he'd be like, this is us bombing the hill. Or if we were on a flat, he would say, let's pick up the pace. And we'd pick up the pace just a little bit, and he's like, this is us picking up the pace. And I like those ideas. I think we ran the first 22 miles together. I think he lost me after the second aid station. He met up with somebody and kind of picked up the pace and went along. And I remember seeing him. I think he would stop at aid stations a lot longer, and I would rest before aid stations and then blow through, and then I would kind of find a little hidey hole off on the side, and I'd see him go by. But eventually, he just lost me entirely. I did have a vision, or you might say a hallucination, before I lost any sleep, before I was tired. I decided to do a little cloud watching, and because that's just something I've practiced for a long time now. and this scene exploded out from the clouds, very like clear and sharp and precise what was going on in this scene, and it kind of blew my mind. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're in for a ride. If I'm seeing this, not tired, not, you know, days into the race, like, man, I'm wondering what I'm in for later on. Took some deep breaths and calm down and just keep pushing. First day, you know, a lot of people were complaining about the heat, but the heat wasn't an issue for me. I had on my desert robe and my shema, and yeah, the heat wasn't really an issue for me. Somebody did mention something about it looked like I had on too many layers, and they were concerned that I was hot. And in a way, they were right. So I had my shema on under my hat. And after this person said that, I don't remember who it was, I took the shema off and just draped it around my shoulders. And again, I wasn't too hot at first, but just that one little, taking off that one layer from my head cooled me down quite a bit. And I was even more comfortable. So running along, come to like, what is it called? Like Jacob's Ladder or something like that. And I remember getting in a duet with somebody. And he's commented on the group. I asked somebody in the group, or asked the group, you know, like, do you remember this? But I was singing, I said, tell me why, and ain't nothing but he answered, ain't nothing but a heartache. And so I picked it up, tell me why, and he picked it up, ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why, I never want to hear you say, and then both of us, I want it that way. And it's like, magnified by this funnel that we're in, and that was cool. Something I'm gonna keep doing. You know, I'll probably sing more and more as I get into these ultra marathons and get more comfortable. It just puts me in a good mood, and also like you can hit a rhythm, you know, in your stride when you're doing that. And I'm always looking for a nice, comfortable rhythm. So push through there. Going on, I think I laid down maybe at like the third aid station or something like that, and this is just a maybe. I remember pushing through the first two with Aaron, and it was just nice and easy, in and out, no problems. I was like headbanging at the second one because they were playing some good music. Took a short nap at the third one, and so as soon as I closed my eyes, if you imagine like the Matrix, how Neo and Morpheus are in this infinitely white room or space, dimension, whatever you want to call it. As soon as I closed my eyes, I was in an infinitely black space. And this little like robot eye, almost in a snow globe. It's like an eye, like a robotic eye in a snow globe, like dropped down from wherever, and like got really close and was like looking at me. And I was like, oh man, okay, relax and just let it all kind of go. Slip into like a nap, and I did start dreaming, but I was fully aware of my dream world, and I was fully aware of the aid station. And I responded to something somebody said in the aid station. And then I know that like somebody in my dream says, who are you talking to? And like, nobody. And then, so that moves on, and then somebody in my dream tells a joke. And I laugh out loud at the aid station. And like, oh man, they're gonna think I'm like losing my mind already, like I'm delirious already. Wasn't delirious, I was just in these two, I was in my dream world and at the aid station, fully aware of both at the same time. And I don't know how many other people experience things like that out there, but I was like, okay, this is like extreme. So again, I'm thinking like, oh man, this is gonna be an intense hallucination ride and I was worried that I hadn't gotten any sleep. Later on, I figured out that it was wrong. My body was asleep, but my mind was super active, and that's a mistake that I made. So anyway, again, pushing on. Heat's not bothering me. Man, I don't remember the other aid stations. I remember coming to, say like, maybe Road 46 and getting lost soon after Road 46. I ended up on, so there's the road, it's kind of, up above Road 46, but then there's like 3 or 4 parallel roads just higher up, and I'm looking at, you're looking at your GPS, and if you're not zoomed in, it looks like you're dead on, but I'm like not seeing any markers, and I'm not seeing any footprints, and so I stop and look and zoom in, and I'm like, oh, I'm off. So like, I start zigzagging down until I find Road 46. And I end up seeing Joel, I don't remember Joel's last name, and his buddy with the old-timey mustache. Hook up with them, and then, push on. I end up pushing up ahead of them, but then I come to this tree with there's a ribbon on it, and I get to the ribbon and I look right and left. I don't see a marker, but I do see footprints over to the left, and I go off to the left. I'm on that for a while, and all of a sudden I see this tree with a pink ribbon on it, and I'm like, is this the same tree from before? Get up and to it and look to the left, and I see my footprints. I'm like, this is the same tree from before. So I kind of like look around, and okay, there's a ribbon up there, and that was the way. The ribbon was kind of obscured. I would like it to have been a little more, able to see it without having to like look around some things. So find my way again, off on that one. I think I remember one time, I can't remember if it was before or after that, I got lost too at night, where again, it looked like I was on track, and I was following somebody else's headlamp, and they were off track, and we easily found our way back, but it did take some time to find the proper track. And then just little incidences here and there where you get kind of off a little bit, and you got to search around a little bit. I had one hallucination kind of where I come to like I'm walking up through, and there's like a fence, and there's like a marker here and a marker here, and there's a pile of rocks here. But initially I was coming up to the pile of rocks, and it looked like somebody was like kind of standing, like a runner was like standing, slumped over on the pile of rocks, kind of resting. And I was like, man, that's an interesting way to take a nap. But it doesn't look totally comfortable. I wonder how comfortable that could be. Get a little closer, and I'm like, that doesn't look comfortable at all. I was like, I wonder why a runner would do that. Get a little closer, and I'm like, wait a minute, that runner's got on way too many backpacks to be, that's not a runner. And then it's like, why is a homeless person like this far out here? Like, that's strange. Maybe they know of a cave or something up here. Then I get even closer, and it's just a pile of rocks. Laugh at myself and push on past that.